At LJ, we make your problems go away.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of LJ Law Family Law TV. I'm Bonnie Leonardo, and I am your host. Today's topic is a spouse hiding assets during a divorce. What I want you to understand is Nevada is a community property state, and so therefore any assets as well as any debts that are incurred or are gathered during the time of the marriage are considered part of the community estate and therefore equally divided by both parties. So both parties have an equal interest in any assets that are gathered or accumulated during the marriage. With this being the case, there are some spouses out there who feel that they do not want to share equally in the assets of the community, and so therefore they will attempt to hide certain assets. They can hide assets in two ways. One, by emptying out bank accounts, by deeding property over to another person during the time of the divorce, by spending a lot of money right before the divorce and purchasing high-ticket items that they then plan on selling after the divorce is final to recuperate that money. Another way that assets can be hidden by a spouse is by deflating that spouse's income. For example, if the spouse is self-employed, that spouse can doctor the books and underreport the earnings of the business. Or if that spouse works for a family business or for a very good friend, they can have the person writing the checks write him a lesser amount or maybe possibly withhold a bonus that is due until after the divorce has been finalized so they don't have to divide that money with their spouse. These attempts at hiding assets, of course, make for unequal distributions of assets and also have an effect on the amount of money that is ordered by the judge for things such as spousal support or for child support, and these two things are related directly to the income of the spouses. What you can do if you are the spouse who is questioning whether or not your spouse is hiding assets is you can either hire a private investigator or hire an accountant. These two approaches are costly and sometimes are not worth the expense if the assets are not valued at a high amount. What I generally tell my clients is that they are fearful that their spouse is either hiding assets or is thinking about hiding assets prior to the divorce or during the divorce process, is to do their own due diligence. What I mean by that is go around your house and take pictures. Take pictures of all the assets, for example, your furnishings. A lot of things that are of great value sometimes is tools in a garage. I know that one of the spouses might not know exactly the value of the tools, but in that situation, just take pictures so that you have copies, you have proof of the tools that were out there, and later on we can figure out the cost or the value of those tools. Take pictures of everything that you can, all the furniture, the backyard, the front, the garage, anything that you have that you feel is part of the community. Also, take information down as to accounts and account numbers. This is for bank accounts, this is for credit cards, investment properties, 401ks, stocks, bonds, anything that you know that you guys have as a couple that you put money into. Write down all the information that you can. So when the time comes, if a certain asset is hidden, you already know that it was existing because we had proof of that. Okay, so take pictures, take notes, and write down all the information. On the other hand, if you are the spouse who is hiding assets because you feel that the asset is yours by right and you should not have to share it with your spouse, I caution you to be aware that you can possibly have monetary sanctions imposed on you by the court. So just be sure that the assets that you're trying to hide are going to be worth it, that they're not going to cost you more than the assets are really worth. Another thing that a judge can do to punish you, so to speak, for trying to hide assets during a divorce is they can go ahead and order that all the assets remaining be given to your spouse as a punishment for you trying to hide assets. Also, they can impose higher payments on your child support or your alimony, in order to cover the money that you got away with not sharing by hiding assets or selling off assets or something to that effect. So it can have a detrimental effect on you if you try to hide assets. So just be careful, as I said, make sure that it's worth it. I hope that this information has been helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, as always, I'm available. Give me a call, and if you want to set up a consultation, we can discuss this more. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.
At LJ, we make your problems go away.